Great good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Thursday, June 5th, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. Broadcasting today from the United States of America. Man, and we're proving it every day, aren't we? We've turned it around. It's also the place where the brave, like the veterans we honor today, thanks to John Basiliga and his outstanding restaurants. Men like Jesse Tom, Weatherly, Bill Kalinowski, Sugarloaf, Daniel Malinowski, German, James Maxim, Jackson, William O'Neill, Scranton, and Michael Waskevitz, Exeter. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible founding fathers, that the government is not, shall not be, cannot be our parent, our guide, our salvation, our direction, not any of these things, but is nothing more than a necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. It was not something that could be parceled out to groups. Freedom was not to be controlled by government or government officials. Our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press. They use it to lie. So what? Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because they had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. Well, this Bob Cordaro Show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. Yes, we intend the double entendre. So with that essential preamble dispensed with, we gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising a sanctuary of sanity to all of you within earshot or on the app. And you need it. You need it when people just keep lying to you. It's insane. It's really something. In any event, so much going on each and every day. One thing I didn't get to talk about, and it's really in my five to follow. I want to go through it. First, and this goes in the category which has been a continuing saga, the Biden brain collapse, his cancer, the Her tapes that had come out, the Jake Tapper book, Clinton responding, and now Jean-Pierre, Karine Jean-Pierre, the former press secretary, calls it a broken White House. And she's going to come out with a book this fall. She's switched to independent. No, she's nothing. She's a left-wing loon. Don't look for any true epiphany. But that's the newest on this, and she called it a broken White House. Fascinating. I think it's going to be payback against people like the skeevy Admiral Kirby. You know, I liked her. She was likable. Liar and all of that, but likable. Kirby, however, disgraced the uniform in my view. He was a Navy admiral, and when he would get up and lie, I thought it was unforgivable. I truly did. So, but it's really just the, hey, I got to cash in while I can cash in. Let me dangle something in front of the public that I may be turning on Biden, but I doubt she will. The Ukraine-Russia war, number 2 in our 5 to follow. Well, it's getting serious. I'm not sure what the strategy was for Ukraine to launch these devastating and embarrassing attacks on Russia, their drones. In a phone call yesterday with Donald Trump, basically Putin says, we're going to get them back in spades. So they've escalated Ukraine. And I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying they shouldn't have. But you're not going to get what you have to realize if you're Ukraine. They're going to wear you down eventually. Number one, they're going to win the war of attrition. Number two, Putin does not care about losses. He cares about the ultimate conclusion. And this will make it harder to bring this to a peace. We're going to see what Russia does in response. Tariffs. That's number 3 in our 5 to follow. The tariff status, all right, we're back and forth. I think it's the only weapon Trump has. He does have to, by the way, along with massive government borrowing, which crowded out and increased interest rates for all of us over these decades, massive government overspending. The trade imbalance has stolen the living standards of working and middle class. We talk about it all the time. 60s even into the 70s, middle class people, you could work at a bank with a normal job. I always talk about my neighborhood. One guy sold tires, the old Duke tire. One guy worked at the RCA plant. But one was a bus driver. Everybody did okay. They might not have 2 cars, but they had a car. The kids were raised. Everybody had clothes, all that. That was stolen from us by lousy trade agreements, which ended up having our companies ship jobs overseas. So the tariffs are our only weapon. I think he's doing the right thing. We're not there yet because every time he pushes, these other countries see the blowback from the media, from the markets, and they figure, maybe we could hold out a little longer. Number 4, the Musk critique of the big, beautiful bill. Very fair and very correct. It is a classic government boondoggle. It's all we can do. And within it is not only the continuation of our current tax rates, but the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, 2 huge things for the working class, middle class, and then the tax credit for Social Security. So he's correct, but he doesn't understand Washington, which is why when he thought he would find $2 trillion a year in savings with Doge, he found $160 billion. Not a small feat, but he's been frustrated by Washington. His critique is appropriate, but it has to pass in some form. Another 5 to follow. Fentanyl deaths evaporating once Trump closed the border. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. And another byproduct of the new administration, the murder rate in this country has dropped dramatically. How about that? How about that? Amazing. All right. We have to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to hear from our great sponsors, a little history, a little music, and then we'll be back, and you can reach me at 570-883-0098. Call or text. Gene Vincent. Murph tells us this date, 1956, he released his hit Be-Bop-A-Lula. Pretty racy for 1956, wasn't it? Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. Somebody texted in. I was going to ask about Musk's criticism of Trump's bill. I was a little upset. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. What's going on? LTS. LTS back at you, first of all. He doesn't understand Washington, and Washington does not make sense. I was talking about it yesterday, and she's a clown, but Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine, carrying on about some ridiculous funding for world health coming from the United States. I mean, just ridiculous. And you see these people have their pet projects and maybe their friends involved, and they cave and say, oh, we can't cut spending on that. And again, where have we gotten to? A complete lack of discipline. We'll never have a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution, but we need one. And so that they're forced to make tough choices. But Musk is looking at it properly as an outsider. And he's saying this is insane. And I guarantee you, the guy's human. The heat and the devastation and the $100 billion plus he lost in stock value, people burning up Teslas. He's furious at Washington and their way of life and all of that. And he's calling out what is. This is ridiculous. Trump has been around. Now, maybe in his first term, he came to the realization. I don't think he was a fiscal conservative, by the way. He saw free money because interest rates were so low and said, let's borrow the money. Let's borrow it. It's so cheap, we'll borrow it. I don't think he thought anything of deficits. I think he gets it now. But at the same time, he also realizes he's got to get somewhere around 218 votes in the House and somewhere around 50 votes in the Senate. And everybody's got their pet. And the lies about the Medicaid and all these things being cut, they're doing damage. And senators and congressmen are hearing it back home. You have idiots around here protesting against Rob Bresnahan based on a lie. But don't tell me it doesn't have an effect. That's why they're doing it. They know they're lying. They know it's all lies. But they also know it has a political effect. And so I excuse him for calling what is in Washington ridiculous, bloated, disgraceful. But you have to appreciate what can get done. You can only do what you can do. You know, they're battling to send and pass a rescission package. Now, there's a process by which you can rescind spending, and you only need 50 votes plus the VP in the Senate. And there's a $9.4 billion package. Well, I mean, that's nothing, but it's a start. And it'll help institutionalize what Doge did. And they've got to keep coming up with a package like weekly. And just rescind spending that's already in place. But that's all you can do. There's going to be Republicans who they're going to wilt when it comes public television. Because they're going to be forced to look at it from the local public television outlook. That's what people think. The local public television station is going to go away. And we all love 44 in our instance. But no, it's the national goofballs. It's nothing but a left-wing propaganda platform. It's really all it's become. It's not good news. It's not whatever. But they're going to try to convince us you cut their $500 million or whatever the number is, and your local public television station is going to close. That's not true, but that's what they're going to do. So the art of the possible is politics. And what is possible is not what our guy, Elon Musk, thinks is what should be done. Neither does Rand Paul. So it's what is. Again, he's separated from what Trump has to do by what he wants done and what should be done. But it's not going to happen, Elon. Sorry. Take a break. Go back to your businesses and make sure the Doge continues to work. And make sure the Doge concept spreads to all of our states and localities. It's got to happen. Government is disgracefully bloated. Let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to return. Got a Veterans Tribute. We got the weather. And then you at 570-883-0098. Our veterans this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by John Basiliga and his incredible companies. Well, it's Thursday. We got to start thinking weekend, so let's talk about Basiliga hospitality. The Old Brook Inn. Man, I'm telling you, the place is fabulous. The food is great, from fine dining to amazing bar food. Route 307 Springbrook. The Far Street Tavern. I mean, just a reimagined neighborhood tavern. They'll have the windows open. Perfect. And by the way, the same thing with the Queen City Tavern. It's amazing. Go see it. Downtown Oliphant. Sergey's the nightclub. Karaoke night tonight. No cover charge. A Terra 519. Oh, just love the place. And the glass room, it's open. Dine al fresco at a Terra 519. And Cutie and I are going to the Stegmeyer Mansion this weekend. I'm really looking forward to transporting ourselves back to another time, to Newport, Rhode Island, at the great Stegmeyer Mansion. Dinner, drinks, all that. William O'Neill. Oh, by the way, you want to see a movie? No place better than Scranton Art House on Lackawanna Avenue downtown. William O'Neill. He was from Scranton. He was 82 when he died April 16th. Alana, his wife of 55 years, she survives him. Mr. O'Neill was born in Scranton. He served us in the U.S. Army and then worked for the Scranton School District, retiring after 40 years. His students nicknamed him Mr. Bill, which he enjoyed. Family says he was a kind-spirited man with a big heart. He spent his last healthiest years enjoying time with his granddaughter, baking cupcakes, playing miniature golf, going for ice cream. Great sense of humor, quick wit. His daughters survive him, as well as that granddaughter, Ellie, and two grandsons, Logan and Liam. Tragically, two sons, Kevin and Brian, preceded him in death. William O'Neill. Michael Waskowitz. He was 80. He was from Exeter. He died April 17th. Born in Exeter, known by many as Big Mike. Graduate of Exeter High School and Luzerne County Community College. He served us in the U.S. Army Reserve with the 402nd Military Police Battalion. Prior to retirement, he was employed as a mechanic and electrician at both Pagnotti and Jetto Coal Company. 49 years. He made sure his home was open to all, friends, strangers alike. He was a skier, hunter, fisher, loved to shoot. His most cherished times were the games of pinochle and aggravation spent with friends. Surviving are his wife of 58 years, Claire, his sons, and a brother, Michael Waskowitz. Our great veterans this hour, brought to you by Basiliga Hospitality and their amazing restaurants and bars. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from our friend, meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, sunny with showers and thunderstorms developing late in the day, 88. Tonight, cloudy with showers likely, low 65. Friday, cloudy and cooler with showers and thunderstorms likely, 85. Saturday, clouds and breaks of sun with a chance of showers, 78. Sunday, clouds and breaks of sun with showers likely in the afternoon and evening, 78 degrees. So pretty good weather report. I thought it was going to get nasty again. You know, you're not expecting good weather anymore. When you get it, it's a relief. So last night, Cutie and I went to our friends, the Palucci's house, steaks on the grill, all that stuff. We brought Chauncey to let him frolic around the yard. So now last night, I mean, he sleeps on our bed, which is crazy, but he does. And as he gets bigger, it gets really ridiculous. He's a cuddler, too. At 80, 70 pounds, up on his way up to 120. Anyway, he panting, and I get nervous when they breathe that loud and that rapidly. So I get him, I take him outside to get some cool air, and then I bring him out the back porch. And he climbs dutifully onto the couch, and so I said, okay, he's going to leave if I go back, and the house is too warm for him. So I laid down on the outdoor couch as well. And I guess I laid there for about an hour. But I'm a little tired today, but the weather just invigorates me. I heard Snedeker say that he likes heat and humidity. I do too. I really do. So I'm looking forward to it. Somebody texted in, the ACLU mailed flyers out today about how Rob Bresnahan is cutting medical assistance to over 200,000 people in Pennsylvania. Yeah, and the liar-in-chief in Pennsylvania, Shapiro, is talking about he's suing the government, the federal government, for cuts to some food program. And these people don't stop. They live on lies. Now, Cartwright says he's having a press conference today. I don't know if he's announcing he's running again or whatever, but he's saying that the only reason he lost to Bresnahan is that he wasn't going to make the cuts. WNEP 16 reporting Rob won't win because of the cuts. They don't exist. See, here's what always happens. They lie and lie and lie and lie, and then nothing happens, and only the soft heads will believe that the cuts actually occurred because there aren't any. Medicaid spending, Medicaid, Medicare spending in the big, beautiful bill, it goes up. What cuts? Liars? It's disgusting. No, Matt Cartwright, you lost because you turned into a left-wing lunatic. That's why you lost. You voted against preventing boys and young men going into women's locker rooms, girls' locker rooms, bathrooms, and entering into their sporting events. That's what you voted against that. You wanted them in. You went with every left-wing lunatic, sick idea that the Democrat Party put forth. Every single one. The open border, everything. And people couldn't, you could take as many commercials as you want, Matt, down at the border pretending you're a border hawk. But you didn't raise a finger to stop the 12 million plus who came in here illegally. Yeah. So, yeah, he's having some kind of press conference. Because I did reach out to Bill O'Boyle at the Times Leader, who wrote that great story about, and Robin, FHO, was helping me, guided me to it, about Quilts of Valor given to 3 of our veterans. And because he's got to cover the press conference, he wasn't going to get there. He couldn't come on the air with us today. So that's what we did. So, but we'll see what comes of Cartwright. Does he announce he's running already? Does he just merely make a critique to set himself up to run? We'll see. I mean, we know what you'll do as Congressman, Matt, and I really like the guy. Love the Munleys. Tell me, you're going to do exactly the same thing, only worse, if you get back in Congress. It's incredible. And you will lie and lie and lie and lie just like you did. You know why you lost, Matt? Because you became a lunatic left-winger. You voted for Hakeem Jeffries, who's a disgrace, to be your leader. You followed the entire program, and then you lied about it. And a lot of people understood it. Even the people who liked you understood it. So there you go, Matt. You chart out some specific positions where you differ with the Democrat Party, you actually might give yourself a chance. But how do we believe you when you lied to us last time? I don't know. We'll see. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll take a break. We want to hear from our great sponsors. I know I do. And you know what? you do too. We'll do that, Bloomberg Money Minute, and then back with you at 570-883-0098. Murph says this date, 1956, Elvis made his second appearance on Milton Berle's Texaco Star Theater. He performed Hound Dog, but they criticized him for his gyrations. You imagine? I would love to have the critics of that day observe musical performances today that are on national television. They'd go out of their minds, justifiably so. And then before that, Israel knew they were going to get attacked. They went and they took action preemptively, as they're going to do in Iran. The consequences of this, look, they were existentially threatened. And they destroyed the entire Egyptian Air Force, nearly. Syria, Jordan, and Iraq immediately entered the conflict, and Israel crushed them all. And then, in the interest of peace, gave up all the territory they won. That I never understood. And now, all these years later, they got slaughtered by Hamas. 1,200 of them. Somebody says, Bob, I think if Cartwright runs, he wins because of the fake cuts. So sad. I don't think so. I don't think so. HVAC dude. Let's finish with a couple of texts here. He says, can we discuss music and art today? By the way, any day we could do it. We don't need to be 24/7 politics. And he says, I'll start. This is HVAC dude. He says, bluegrass is the most underrated genre of music. Psychedelic and symmetrical and uniquely detailed artwork is my favorite. Okay. I mean, I like bluegrass. I like any kind of music. My favorites are classic rock and classical. And then, you know, Sinatra, Dean Martin, I like that too. Like a lot. Jazz, I like a lot. Yeah, bluegrass wouldn't be on the top of my list, but I could certainly listen to it because I like country rock, which is, I think, you could correct me, HVAC dude, I think is sort of a close cousin. Anyway, Rich McHale says, Cartwright lost because he tried to turn the Ponderosa into a leftist ranch. Thank God Little Joe kicked him to the curb. Cartwright, and somebody says, Cartwright is just like the local papers. Yesterday's news circling around the bowl trying to stay afloat. Do you flush your newspaper down the toilet? Huh? No, we cover Chauncey's excrement with the newspapers. The local rags. Rich in West Pittsburgh says, me, I'm with you, Bob. Humid weather energizes me. Rich says, and he's a courier. Am I right on this, Rich? I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I'll do yard work, wash and wax the truck all in one afternoon. Well, let's not go crazy here. Let's not go crazy, Rich. Come on, man. Yeah, is Matt Cartwright going to announce he's running? It sets up an interesting dynamic if he says he is, because Mayor Many Names is set up to run. I don't know how that happened, to run for Congress against Rob Bresnahan. Matt's not a kid anymore. He's my age. I don't know. I mean, and Matt, if you don't understand that you deserve to lose because you went left-wing lunatic on us, what's the point? You didn't change? You're going to go back and do the same idiotic things? You're going to go back and praise Tim Walz and Kamala Harris and, I mean, these insane people? You're going to work with AOC to destroy the country? What's going on here? I don't understand it. Trevor Lewis is still talking about Biden. When I didn't even bring him up, did I? Not in this segment anyway. But yeah, I'm going to talk about Biden every day because he's a disgusting scumbag. And so is the whole family. And I've got to look at that sign that is all those signs that are embarrassments to this region being associated with scum. So, all right, thank you. I brought him up again. If you're baiting me, feel free. How about this? Bob, there's a recount in the 44th mayoral vote 3 weeks later. Puzo, I think he's calling himself. He says, does it smell familiar? Somebody says, why doesn't the Democrats come up with a real God, country, working people agenda instead of running on scare tactics? Cuts. Because they don't have anything. They don't want to change their positions. They don't want to change their sick, twisted agenda. They want an open border. They want everybody that they can get on welfare. They want to socialize this country. They want socialized medicine. They want all of that. They want everyone that they could possibly get into the package to be transgender from age 5 on. They want transgender story hour. They want all this. They're sick. They want to destroy the country. They literally want to destroy the country. So he said, hey, Bob, all Democrat politicians, no matter who they are, have to listen to the party leaders on what to do in their own district. If they don't listen to Democrat leaders, they will find somebody to primary against them. Obama's plan to control the party, says Gary from Sweet Valley. Gary, you're right. That's why Matt Cartwright and Bob Gacy are gone, because they wouldn't do anything for us, and they did everything for them, the left-wing lunatics. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Bob Cordaro, WILK, news break, and then we'll return. Oh, you know it. When the defeated continue talking. Great good morning, everyone. 10:09 a.m. here in the great Northeast this beautiful Thursday, June 5th, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show, and I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great companies, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we lost this year, but celebrate today. Michael Waskowitz, Exeter. William O'Neill, Scranton. James Maxim, Jackson. Daniel Malinowski, German. William Bill Willie Kalinowski, Sugarloaf. And Jesse Tom, Weatherly. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment, this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Yeah, you just wonder what this is all about. Somebody thinks that Cartwright coming out of retirement to stop the cuts to Medicaid and Social Security. Rumors have it. Stay tuned to the big announcement. And so by next year, when all the Social Security recipients and all the Medicaid and Medicare recipients don't have anything cut from them, what does he say then? Somebody says, what standing does Cartwright have to call a press conference? He's just a guy now. Why would anybody cover it? Well, and someone else texting in, they said, Mayor Lombardo of Pittston, Marty Flynn, and some woman state representative they can't remember announced they were possibly running for the Democrat nomination for U.S. Congress against Rob Bresnahan. Well, first of all, Rob Bresnahan, this is important. He got a bill passed in his first 6 months in Congress. That is, I worked on Capitol Hill. That is an astonishing achievement. And what was it? It was to help people with veterans benefits. It's staggering. It tells you the level of quality of this congressman we have now. And he helped shape the big, beautiful bill, using his leverage as they needed every vote. But amazing. Somebody said, Bob, it's a liberal left-wing media blitz all night and day. Cuts, 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 SNAP, veterans, seniors, kids will starve. Call your congressmen and senators to stop the cuts of the big, beautiful bill. Bob, all they have is lies. How do they get away with it? Because they've perpetuated it. And when the one lie is caught, they create a new one. You remember when Matt Cartwright lied about actually one specific great listener sent me the proof that the illegal immigrant flights were coming into our airport. And we publicized that. And then you guys brought your cameras down there and we exposed them. Cartwright lied. He said they weren't happening. Then there was actual video of the illegals getting off the plane. Then the guy who was running the FBO admitted it. Well, how was he going to deny it? They were getting off the plane behind him. And Cartwright lied that it was happening. And after that lie was exposed, he said, well, Donald Trump did it too, which is insanity. Somebody say, I wonder what Mayor thinks about this press conference, meaning Mayor Cognetti. She's desperate to be the congressperson. She's been exposed as a horrible mayor. All you have to do is look at the piles of dirt up at Naog. And you'll say, okay, yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm driving by City Hall. They've taken the scaffolding down because she's running for office. There are, if you look at the second floor of City Hall, on the Mulberry Street side, all of the windows have plywood on them inside. You just say to yourself, could anybody be more incompetent? It's insane. Unbelievable. Inspector guy gives us an LTS. He says, Bob, this time every year, I can't help but think back to how many soldiers didn't know this was their last day on Earth, D-Day, the next day. We're gonna have D-Day tomorrow, and we'll get some. We'll have some news reports and all that. But we have Rick Bigelow talking about D-Day tomorrow. Unbelievable, unreal. The bravery, the loyalty to country and fellow soldiers of those men. They earned the right to be called the greatest generation. They really did. This is Bob, what made Elon flip on the big, beautiful bill? Well, I discussed it in the first hour, but it's worth repeating. He knows it's a boondoggle. By the way, so does Trump. So does everybody voting for it. But it's the best they can get. And Elon obviously doesn't understand that. By the way, nor does he have to. He didn't have to, accept that, we need votes. We need the. And I think he feels burned by politics. The disgraceful way that the left treated him. So I think he's embittered. But every spending bill, whether it's a continuing resolution or the big, beautiful bill, they're all bloated, wasting probably $1 trillion, but it's all there is. It's all you can get. It's all you can get. So this is hello, Bob LTS. What are your thoughts on Rob Bresnahan trading over 550 stock trades since his swearing into Congress? Some are calling him Rob Pelosi. Much the same with power, money, the elites or Republican, doesn't matter. Shining the lights in Bloomsburg. He did, but does this sound weak? I don't know. The truth is he has a financial advisor who does his trades for him. And I believe him. And those were his choices. It's basically a blind trust. He is now in the process of going to a completely blind trust. So, it's what is. But I don't, nothing nefarious there. He wasn't trading on inside information because his advisor didn't have the inside information. And he has put forth a proposal that Congress people cannot. He's got legislation in the hopper that Congress people cannot trade in stocks. So I don't know what more he could do. Another Bob, whoever challenges Rob Bresnahan, I cannot wait for the debates leading up to the election day. The Dems actually ran ads. This is true. Think of this now. I want you to think of this. They actually ran ads against Bresnahan before he was sworn in. LTS says Eric and Exeter. You're right. Another Bob, every Democrat in America running with the left-wing media on cuts that don't exist. How can this happen if no cuts? Please tell us. Because they're willing to lie. The entire Democrat Party is based on lies. What else do you say about them? They're a disgrace. They're anti-American. And they've got a sick, twisted agenda from gender-affirming care to the open border to crime that is intent upon destroying America.
That's what has taken over the Democrat Party. And all the Democrat elected officials you could think of are following in goose step with that insanity. Just remember that. And the best way to listen to a Democrat speak in this day and age is to know that they, for themselves, are doing the opposite of that which they're forcing you to do. Whether it's private jets or whatever they do. While they're going to take away your car, they're going to fly in private jets. It's just, whatever they're saying and prescribing you to do, they're doing the opposite. Whatever they're saying is the opposite of that which is true. That's the two ways you know a Democrat. That's them today. Sickening. We'll take a break and be back. June 5th, 1959, Murph tells us, a guy named Robert Zimmerman graduated from high school in Hibbing, Minnesota. He was known as a greaser for the long sideburns, leather jacket he wore. He'd be singing coffee houses at the University of Minnesota and then in Greenwich Village. He changed his name to Bob Dylan and had his first hit with this song, Like a Rolling Stone. Man, what a way. And he, by the way, he wrote a lot of great music for others. Bob Dylan. The most boring concert I was ever at. I always tell you I fell asleep. But appreciate his talent. June 5th, Mother Teresa, St. Teresa. She says, the thirst of Jesus on the cross is not imagination. I thirst, he said. Hear him saying it to you. Hear him say it to you and respond. Amen. Thank you, Mary Regina. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. Somebody said, I voted for Rob. I'm just confused on why he claimed to be against Congress trading stocks. He didn't just claim it. I want to be clear on this. He didn't just claim it. He put legislation in. He wrote legislation in to prohibit it. Now, in the meantime, I'm sure he's got a decent portfolio. He's been in business. He's a very successful guy. 500 stock trades is no big deal. And I'm saying in terms of his investments. And he didn't make the trades. His advisor did. Very, very important. I don't see it as disappointing. And by the way, please remember who's publicizing this. The lunatic left who hates that they took away this congressional seat to a normal person. Somebody says, Bob, I don't know who one person whose Social Security or Medicaid was cut. So why do they keep saying cuts to scare seniors and veterans? Must be to win their votes because no one wants their woke agenda and they know it. So they go back to cuts. All they have is lies. That's all they have. This Democrat Party of today is beyond a disgrace. It's disgusting. And to get in with them and to be in with them, you have to be a liar and a hypocrite. And or you've got to be a lunatic. You don't have a choice. You follow or they cut your legs out. This is the cult. This is the cult, the Democrat Party. It is a cult. And they're going to, please, I see these billboards. Now, Doge did this study of government-owned properties. And they discovered it was millions and millions of square feet and tens of thousands of acres of land that the government owns that they do nothing with, and office buildings that are empty. And now a billboard pops up that says, Rob Bresnahan, don't sell our government property or some nonsense like that. Who's paying for this? Who thinks it's a good idea that the government, the taxpayer, should have empty buildings? See, they want the buildings so they can fill them up with bureaucrats. And they'll be supporters. Remember what I tell you. There's $1 trillion a year scam where the establishment in the Democrat Party takes care of the people who support them with our money. $1 trillion a year. That's the NGOs, that's the nonprofits, that's the law firms, that's the consulting firms, and it extends all the way to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, down to your school district, down to your city, the most egregious example being the mayor of Scranton. hire a consultant. We literally did this. Mayor Cognetti did this with the help of the 3 blind mice on city council. They hired a consultant to hire a consultant to build a pool. And now they've got a partially built splash pool with piles of dirt. And it's 88 degrees today. And school's out. It's insane. Absolutely insane. And then they'll just lie. And you'll hear Mayor Many Names talking about Medicaid cuts and attacks on the LGBTQ community. Who's attacking them? They're telling them they can't play sports against girls. That's all. That's okay. Where's the attack come in? I really want to know. Where does the attack come in? Crazy stuff. Joe from Trips Park says the news tells us Social Security cuts, failing economy, North Pole melting, stocks crashing. What do your eyes say? Exactly. Oh, Lordy Lord. Well, we've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to a little bit of messages from our sponsors. And then we're going to come back and do a Veterans Tribute. And then we got Carmela Mataloni. The Bucktown Music Fest. It's beginning on Sunday. And they're going to have good weather. We'll take a break and do all that when we return. Well, as we head towards the weekend, I thought today was Friday until it just jogged in my memory early this morning. It was Thursday. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by John Basiliga. And because we're headed to the weekend, Basiliga Hospitality. Cutie and I are going to get to the Stegmeyer Mansion this weekend, but there's so much more to do at all of his properties, like the Old Brook Inn in Springbrook Township, the great Far Street Tavern in the city of Scranton's west side, the Scranton Art House to catch a first-run movie while having a cocktail and a meal, the great Atera 519, the Glass Room, yeah, the windows are open, Sergey's Live, same property, 519 Linden Street, Scranton. No cover tonight for the great nightclub. Queen City Tavern. Totally reimagined. You're going to love it. You're going to love the food. You're going to love the drinks. And, of course, the Stegmeyer Mansion, now open. James Maxim. He was 95. He was from Jackson, PA. Born in Trenton, New Jersey. His wife of 72 years, Gatewood, the former Gatewood Brown Maxim. She survives him. Also surviving are his 2 daughters and sons-in-law, 5 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren. Tragically, he was predeceased by his daughter, Janice Rodriguez, and a grandson, Nathan Rodriguez. Mr. Maxim was a graduate of Clark Summit High School, class of 46. He served us in the Marine Corps during the Korean War. He married his wife, Gady, in 1952. They raised their daughters in Woodbury, New Jersey. Jim was an insurance agent for Prudential, retiring in 1992. They wintered in Florida, loved cruises. But we lost him on April 5th, James Maxim. Daniel Malinowski. He passed away on Palm Sunday, April 13th. He was only 73. He lived in Germany his whole life. He was of the Catholic faith and Polish heritage. His partner of 42 years was Margaret Mersch, who passed away back in 2021. Daniel was a graduate of Lakeland High School, class of 69, United States Air Force veteran, proud and honored over his service to our country. He's survived by cousins, friends, and a dear friend and classmate, Martin Probishin. Daniel Malinowski. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Well, I know that sound. It means the weather. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, sunny with showers and thunderstorms developing late in the day into the evening. It'll be 88 degrees. Tonight, cloudy with showers likely, 65. Friday, cloudy and cooler with showers and thunderstorms likely, high of 85. Saturday, clouds and breaks of sun with a chance of showers, 78. Sunday, clouds and breaks of sun with showers likely in the afternoon and evening, 78. Well, that looks like good weather. And speaking of good weather, which we need for the Buckdown Music Fest, here's Carmela Mataloni to tell us all about it. How are you, Carmela?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Even better now that the Bucktown Music Fest has begun. Sunday's our first. How about that?
I know. It's so exciting. I'm so happy to be a part of it this year. This is one of my favorite summer traditions at Dunmore.
It is great. Hey, people bring their coolers and their chairs, and they sit down on the street and watch from the show. Watch the music from the showmobile. They go into the bars, and it's a lot of fun. Is this one in the Dunmore Corners?
Yes, they're all held in Dunmore Corners this summer. Every
Oh.
show that we have from start to finish. No on locations this year.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
and they were great too. But I love when it's in the corners. Tell us,
I know, that's where it should be.
Carmela, what are you featuring? What's the music this Sunday?
So this Sunday we have the East Coast Trio and Daddy-O and the Sax Maniacs. They always draw really big crowds. Shows start at 5, but as you know, you have to get there early. You'll get knocked out of the way if you're in somebody's spot. We have some people there who have been there since the start, and that's their spot. But that's so nice to see. That means it's a successful event.
It's like an area reunion, and you
Truly.
meet new people because they're friends with other people that you know. Just a great event. Our guy Tom Hallen, he's on a cruise, which we're happy for. And by the way, you're a better spokesperson for this anyway.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I knew I'd find a way onto your show, and this was it.
So, Carmela, you tell us a little bit about what we could expect the rest of the summer.
So we have a lot of really great shows. Like I said, we're kicking it off with Daddy-O and the Sax Maniacs. We have Black Tie Stereo, Flatland Ruckus. Krista Matteo, he's going to be there for the 4th of July weekend.
Really? Neat.
Oh, yeah. And then what's new this year is on August 17th, we had the Strangers and the Wannabes, but we had a last-minute cancellation. And, you come to these things, everybody brings their kids, right? So everybody moves back from the big cities. We all have little ones running around now. But we didn't really have anything for the kids. So we decided to change up August 17th and make it a family night. So we're going to have EJ the DJ. We're going to have some opportunities for kids to get up there on stage and sing. We're going to have a face painter. So just something for families to do.
Oh, nobody runs a show like EJ the DJ. It is. The kids love it. The parents love watching their kids enjoy it. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful. So it'll be fun for kids and adults all summer, but specifically the 17th, we want to make sure that we can give families something to do.
So this Sunday, 5 o'clock, you're going top shelf right off the bat with Daddy-O and the Sax Maniacs. Man, that's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting, and I'm happy to be a part of it this year. Mr. Howell and Mr. McGurl have been great letting me sign on, and he finally gave me the reins to the Facebook page. So,
what? They handed
that.
it over to someone that actually knows how to use it.
Well, yeah, we started a new one, and Mr. Howell would just not let his go. So I said, just let me use some of it, and so I finally have access to it. He's tightened. He's let me have a little bit more freedom with it, so that's good.
Good. Carmela Mataloni, Bucktown Music Fest, Daddy-O Sax Maniac, starting 5 o'clock this Sunday, June 8th. Great stuff, Carmela. Thank you.
No, thank you.
And make sure you're calling in whenever you have one that week. You make sure you call in, all right?
We sure will. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you Sunday.
Bucktown Music Fest. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Had to let it get there. Roy Orbison. Murph says this date, 1960, had his first number one hit with Running Scared. Neat song, huh? Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. Dan Muser's bill to combat fraud and enhance transparency in the SBA loan program. Yeah, it passed. It passed the House. Remember, these are the people who gave $300 million out to people that didn't exist, who used their fake Social Security numbers. There was a 10-month-old who got a $900,000 loan. Just remember this. So thanks, Dan Muser, for trying to get rid of this insanity. Somebody says, Bob, I can't wait to hear the Cartwright ads on your show. Matt, I told you Rob Bresnahan was going to cut Social Security and Medicaid, SNAP, seniors, and veterans. I'm running to stop the cuts. I work for you. And they could, Matt, please spare us. Barry from Plains tells me he just got done doing yard work for the past hour or so before it got too hot. Had the radio outside with your show on, making the neighbors listen to the show. Well, I hope it's not a punishment, Barry. By the way, it was pointed out to me that the splash pad in West Scranton that the mayor put in to great fanfare by our local left-wing newspaper, it's not working. Yeah, it's not working. Yep. Incompetence rears its ugly head in Scranton for the last 5 years. Amazing. Time for the Bloomberg Money Minute. Let's find out what's going on in the markets. Then we'll come back and talk about it. The Rolling Stones. I called an audible here, Murph, but Murph tells us on this date, 64, the Stones were on their first U.S. concert tour, opening up at the Swing Auditorium in San Bernardino, California, to support their self-titled album, Not Fade Away. That was the song he chose, but I said I audibled. And I don't think Jumpin' Jack Flesh was even written then, but that's okay. It's the Stones, the coolest band in rock. Bob Cordaro back with you on WLK. And, of course, the news reports of that just tragic shooting and mortal wounding of Senator Robert F. Kennedy after California's Democratic presidential primary. This date, 1968. Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. I really do. Even as a kid. Bobby Kennedy's face, and he appeared to be talking. The blood coming out of his head. Oh, just tragic. And thank God we got RFK Jr. Not bad. He's doing great things for this country. By the way, somebody texted in, Bob, I thought the morning show, I didn't get to listen much this morning. A little bit I did during Snedeker's weathercast. But they said, I thought the morning show said Cartwright announced he wasn't going to run, as reported on WVIA. And the listener says, ALTS, always love the show. Back at you. That would make more sense to me, by the way, because Democrats have a way of clearing the field. And I would think I was told they were clearing the field for Mayor Cognetti. Because what would be better to have in Congress than a true left-wing lunatic who believes in all this insanity and who has been an incompetent mayor? Perfect candidate. We'll see, though. I mean, whatever his press conference reveals, that may tell us everything we need to know. Somebody texts in, Bloomberg just reported that Ruger and Smith & Wesson were running guns the cartel. And somebody's, yeah, you're right. That wasn't the manufacturers giving them guns. That was our own ATF under Obama. I didn't hear that report. I'm sorry. Crazy. Bob, on a more humorous note, your ratings must be through the roof. They are, frankly, because you guys get it. And by the way, the audience is huge. It's I love that. I love knowing I'm talking to thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and that you're talking to me and participating. I absolutely love it. It's our huge and growing dysfunctional family. But they continue in the text. Cuts. Now all I hear around my house is lawnmowers. Big and small. I know. It's what will they try next? I mean, I know this, and they know this, by the way. A lot of people just don't pay attention. And those are the people they try to prey on. And then they've already got a core of people who could care less how much damage the Democrats were doing to them or their families. They're still voting Democrat. Those are the Dummycrats. So I don't know. And then it depends if they determine whether they're going to nationalize the election, meaning the nationalize the election by running against Trump. And then they get all the TDS people all hopped up. I don't know. It's just it's craziness. It's craziness. Yeah, this Ruger and Smith & Wesson running guns. Remember, Bloomberg's another left wing. If they weren't covering business, it'd be worse. And when they don't cover business, it is worse. I had on one of my radio stations, I had the Bloomberg News. We ran it all day. And it was great. It was just the facts, man. But then Bloomberg went from Republican to a left-wing lunatic, and so has his news service, unfortunately. By the way, my man Mark Mayer points out helpfully, the gun running was called, what was it, Fast and Furious? Mark, what did you just tell me? I remember it. Yeah, Fast and Furious. I want you to think of this. And only a left-wing goofball like Obama and his attorney general could come up with this. And by the way, these are people that they're telling us we have to listen to now. Hey, what if we give the cartels guns? Oh, nothing bad could happen there. Except with those guns, they killed at least one ATF agent, wounded others. Yeah, Fast and Furious. Eric Holder. Wow. Unreal. Somebody said if it was the Mexican government suing Ruger and S&W, they'd be shot down in the courts. I know. Wow. Yeah, you're going to blame the gun companies for a program the government started, the Obama administration. Wow. By the way, my man Andy checking in with me, and he said he had the same Thursday deal. But now what I said to him is this. I was happy when I realized it was only Thursday. I have an extra day to live. That's honest to God, that's the way I look at it. I was like, oh, isn't that great? The week's not over yet. And then not that I'm ancient, but I'm pretty old. I want every minute of every day, I want to hang on to it. Time's going way too fast. So I was happy when I was mistaken taking Chauncey out at 4:30 in the morning, thinking it was Friday. Yeah. All right, it's time for the news. In fact, it's past time. Brian Hughes has that. Then we're going to come back. We got the third hour of this Lollapalooza, which they sometimes call the Bob Cordaro Show. We'll be back.
This is the Bob Cordaro Show, and I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values. And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his incredible restaurant and event spaces, Basiliga Hospitality, to honor veterans we lost this year, but whom we get to celebrate today. Daniel Malinowski, German. James Maxim, Jackson. Michael Waskevich, Exeter. William O'Neill, Scranton, for Common Sense. Bob Cordaro back with you in our third great hour. You heard you hear the hypocrisy, the insanity? And by the way, we didn't even, we touched on in that montage, Biden with the Red Devil speech down at Independence Hall. He was the evil Sith Lord, Joe Biden. Sickening people. And then they say, we're divisive. We're divisive. No, we're calling out insanity. We're calling out literal insanity. Begging for normalcy. And then they try to divide us to conquer. By the way, it's an essential, not just a critical component of their strategy. Lies and dividing people are essential to Democrat strategy. Somebody texts in, Bob, it's so frustrating to hear all about the cuts. When you look to see if there are true cuts that really matter to senior veterans, you can't find any. The liberal loons refuse to stop talking about these cuts that don't exist. It's a total scam for votes to win the midterms. Yep. Amazing. Yeah, somebody pointing out a coincidence. The only network to cover it live in Butler, PA, CNN. Fascinating. Let's go to Jim from Harding. Jim, how are you, my man?
Pretty good. No, a couple of things. I don't know if you heard about the U.S. Supreme Court rules in favor of gun companies and a Mexican lawsuit 9-0. That was stunning. I didn't think they signed a 0 on that one.
And for Ketanji Brown and Sotomayor to vote with any of the conservatives and in any way to make an American company look good I'm stunned. I didn't know it was 9-0. Wow.
Well, Schumer's going to have them come in and give them a tongue lashing. Another thing,
or he's gonna what did he say? Turn the whirlwind or something?
Oh yeah, but he got away with that.
Yep.
And another thing, I never thought that Jeffries, minority leader, could go any lower. But when he goes on TV, says he's going to find out who these ICE agents are and expose them. Doesn't he? He probably knows he's putting a bullseye on them and their families back. And if something happens to them, Bondi better go after him with everything she got because a man's rancid. These people, they don't.
Well, that's Matt Cartwright's leader.
Anything to get a vote.
That's Matt Cartwright's leader. He loves him.
Hey, isn't that something like just before, like when he was before he lost election, he was down at the 44 dike saying how this system protects us from getting floods. So does that border wall. But yet he voted against H.R. 2, like in the summer of 2023. Yep. But one more thing there. I was up in Scranton. I had a 7:30 doctor's appointment. When I left, I turned down Biden Avenue or Street. And I thought it hit me in the head. When they made those signs up, did they use the auto pen to make them?
I don't think actual prisoners made those signs. By the way, the signs were ready before Scranton City Council and the mayor voted on it and signed it into legislation.
Yeah. I tried not to go down that street, but I had no other choice today.
Well, I give it the finger. That's all.
Oh. Well, I won't give it that much effort. 'Cause
It's
then you're
it's
acknowledging
therapeutic.
it.
It's therapeutic to give the finger to the Biden signs. It just is.
Yeah, well, you have a nice day.
Thank you, man. Jim from Harding, always a pleasure. And it's always a pleasure to hear from our great sponsors, which we will do right now. We'll come back. We have some history, some essential history, a little music, and then we'll come back to you at 570-883-0098. Call us, text us, whatever you want. We're here.
James Taylor. Goofy guy, but love his music. This date, 1971, Murph says he released his hit, You've Got a Friend. And remember, we're doing music history. A lot of these people are left-wing goofballs. Okay, fine. We played Bruce yesterday, and he's a dumb person. But it's his music we like. And it's not just that we like it, because there's stuff that we played that I don't like. But it's about history. It's about our lives and what parts music played. Where were you when this song came out, or do you have a memory associated with this song? So James Taylor, always did love him. By the way, here's left-wingers. Here's the Democrat Party. They own California. Now, they do it through ballot harvesting. They do it because hundreds of thousands of people are registered to vote who aren't even citizens. And then they do it because there's no voter ID. They control the state. Now, they've been given billions of dollars for a California bullet train. They've built about 500 feet. Tens of billions of dollars spent. And now the feds are saying, well, you're not going to get another $4 billion because that will go down the spitter as well. It's unbelievable. They're so and by the way, remember what I say. If you're a left-winger, you have almost by definition, always exceptions, by the way, you have to be terrible at your job because you don't have a grasp. Now, these are the true believers, not the ones that are getting something out of it. You don't have a true grasp of reality. You don't understand fact from fiction. And you don't understand truth. How could you possibly be competent at what you're doing? And in fact, I say, if you're voting for Democrats these days, I want to help you cross the street. I don't want you harmed. Because you may not see a bus coming right at you. They were paying, please remember this. By the way, I saw gas down to like $3.05. I saw it even under $3. That's here in Northeast PA, which for whatever reason, it's historically high. Lackawanna County, still 10 to 15 cents higher than Luzerne. The majority of stations. Anyway, when gas shot up over $4, because of the Green New Deal policies of Joe Biden and the Democrat Party. Remember, they blamed Putin for his attack on Ukraine. It was Putin's price increase, even though he was sending out more oil to pay for the war. So it was the exact opposite of that, which was true. Then they blamed the greedy oil companies. Well, the oil companies' profits weren't high enough, apparently, so then they start blaming the gas station owners. And then they just said, we'll go on to another subject. It's unreal. Somebody said, my only real hope with Trump was that he would balance the budget. Looks like I'll be let down again by all these politicians. And it's all a joke. Republicans and Democrats are like, that's faulty thinking. The art of what is possible is what politics is. These brutal political assaults in the media, in paid advertising, limit what you can actually do. They really do. And then things like a bloated Defense Department where we've got to spend $1 trillion a year just to keep up with the Chinese. We need total government reform. The At least the Republicans are trying to do it. At least on social policy, whether it's transgenders in sports, locker rooms, and all of that. Story hours, all kinds of perversions. If it's about that, crime, and actually putting people in jail who commit violent crimes, terrorism, the border, they've straightened all of that out. Your energy costs, which is going to percolate into all of your other expenses. They've done an incredible amount. To expect them to balance the budget with the media and that platform the Democrat Party has to lie is nearly impossible. So you set your sights too high. Let's come back to reality. Hey, Elon Musk is with you. I'm not saying you're not correct. I'm saying it's not realistic. There's a difference. Cabinet guy says Mayor Many Names was there for Pride Week photos, but can't fix anything in the city. Pride Month, by the way. What a waste. I know it. Pride Month. Yay! And I have zero problem with it. I really do. Many of you have problems with it. I do not. Let anybody celebrate the ones, but fix the streets. Fix the streets and build the pool. That's what I'm for. I don't care what else you do. People want to celebrate their lives, whatever. What's his name? Norm, he passed away. Norm, the old Saturday Night Live news guy. One of you guys will tell me. He had a very funny thing on Pride Month, but yeah. But no big deal, okay? Somebody texted Bob Hakeem Jeffries, better known as Congressman Dyslexia. Whatever he says is the exact opposite of the true facts. By the way, not only about cuts and everything else today, but you remember this one, and the listener reminds us of it. Transgender comments about more sexual predators in women's spaces. If you keep the transgender boys and young men out of women's locker rooms. It's so insane, you don't even know what to say. Oh, somebody said they found $2.97 gas in West Pittston. Somebody says, I predict gas will be $1.89 a gallon under President Trump, just like it was before he left office. Well, let me say this. It is one of our weapons against Putin is to flood the world markets with oil and to be made into gas. So he may do it. He just may be. Somebody else, $2.97 a gallon of regular on Tuesday in Luzerne County. Trump was right again. All we needed was a new president. You know it. Somebody says these transgenders are 1% of the population, but we have to bend every rule for them. Screw that. Listen, they need, and I believe it is our duty to treat people with gender dysphoria with compassion, to respect people's adult life choices, whatever they are, whatever we think of them. And myself, I don't think anything. Do your thing. It doesn't matter to me. But from our perspective, we've got to look at it and say, but not for kids. Not for kids. Either influencing them, teaching it in our schools, putting books in our libraries about it. No. These are adult decisions, adult actions only, period. But yeah, why are we bending over backwards for a tiny percentage of the population? I don't get it. I really don't. And I wish them all well. I wish them make your choice, live with it, enjoy it, do whatever you want. All right, Bob Cordaro, WILK, we'll take a break, and we will come back with our Veterans Tribute. Well, it's headed towards the weekend. It's Thursday. And Basiliga Hospitality should be on your mind. Cutie and I are going to go to at least one of them. Great facilities, great restaurants, great bars. And that's the Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre, grand opening last night. Looking forward to it. But it doesn't stop there. For all tastes and all budgets, the Old Brook Inn, Springbrook Township, the Far Street Tavern, West Scranton, Otera 519, the Glass Room is open, dine al fresco at Otera 519. Sergei's the Nightclub, 519 Linden Street, downtown Scranton, right beneath Otera. Queen City Tavern, Main Drag Oliphant, gorgeous. Wait till you see the indoor atrium. And the Scranton Art House if you want to catch a movie. William Bill Willie Kalinowski. He was just 75 when he died April 19th. He was from Sugarloaf. His wife of 47 years, Audrey, survives him. Born in Shenandoah, he was an Air Force veteran, talented carpenter, lifelong member of Carpenters Union Local 76 in Hazleton and Local 445 Scranton. Owner of the William E. Kalinowski Carpentry Company. Proudest accolade is that of his family, including his 3 children and 9 grandchildren. Talented craftsman, he built homes for his kids, relatives, friends, worked with the Girl Scouts. He built a retaining wall and patio at Most Holy Trinity Catholic Church, West Point, New York. An avid outdoorsman. In January of this year, he experienced the culmination of his hunting hobby with a successful elk hunt shared with his son and grandson. How about that? In addition to his wife, children, and grandchildren, he's survived by a number of other family members. Bill Willie Kalinowski. Jesse Tom. Shown in a picture waving his hat. It's a great picture. He's a proud veteran, community activist, loving patriarch. We lost him April 18th. Born in Honolulu, Hawaii, the last survivor of 12 siblings. His childhood in Punoi, above Waikiki, was shaped by the attack on Pearl Harbor, a moment that defined his lifelong story of courage and endurance. He enlisted in the Army after graduating from King Kamehameha High School, serving with the 11th Air Force, 11th Airborne Division during the Korean War, setting up radio operations behind enemy lines. In 1953, Jesse married Ethel May. She passed away 5 decades later, 2005. The couple had moved to the mainland in 1959, settling in Weatherly and Beaver Meadows. Surviving are 5 children, 3 fostered and adopted children, 34 grandchildren, 32 great-grandchildren, and 12 great-great-grandchildren. What a legacy. Jesse worked as a tradesman instructor, co-founder of the Weatherly Knee-High football program, helped establish Weatherly High School's football program, a talented musician, which he passed on to his kids. He was a scout leader. In retirement, he became a fixture in the stands at Susquehanna University, cheering on the volleyball matches with his son as head coach. Honolulu's own Jesse Tom. Our great veterans today, brought to you by Basiliga Hospitality. Oh, spend some of your weekend with them. You'll enjoy it. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, sunny with showers. Thunderstorms developing late in the day. It'll be 88 degrees. Tonight, cloudy with showers likely, 65. Friday, cloudy and cooler with showers and thunderstorms likely, 85 degrees. Saturday, clouds and breaks of sun with a chance of showers, 78. I'm trying to get up the marge on that day. Sunday, clouds and breaks of sun with showers, likely in the afternoon and evening, high 78. It says here in the studio, 84 degrees outside. Pretty cool, isn't it? Bob, Google it. Transgender 0.6%, and the Democrats constantly promote this agenda for the future of our children and country. Totally insane. The entire Democrat party and leadership. They are. They really are. Somebody texts in, Bob, nothing wrong with Pride Month. I'm with you on that. I just can't stand, and I'm not sure what the word is, I can't stand it as a gay man. It is insults. Me and the people have to fly it, meaning the flag, the pride flag. We have to fly it. We're just normal guys like that like men. I'm with you. Again, no problem with Pride Month. You can't take 15 or so % of the population, which is gay, and say, oh, this is abnormal. No, I mean, it's what is. So live your lives as adults. Transgender is another thing altogether, but as adults living through gender dysphoria, they should have the right to live their adult life as they see fit. And as children and teenagers, they should get incredible compassion from everybody around them and everybody that has access to them. Hey, we'll deal with this. You'll deal with it, actually, when you are grown. I'm not going to do what should be illegal, permanent pharmacological and surgical gender-affirming care, which is the biggest lie. Remember, the lefts they're good at making words up. And live your life and enjoy your life. Do it. Don't worry about it. But as an adult, that's it. These are adult choices. I don't want schools teaching kindergartners or elementary students about sex, heterosexual sex either. It's all crazy. All right, let's go to Joe from Berwick. Joe, how are you? Joe, you sent me pictures
right?
of a beautiful memorial at the Bloomsburg American Legion Post 273. Oh, man, you do the lawn there. They're fantastic. Military prayer. I want to read just one of them. Military prayer. It's in granite. It says, Almighty God, we commend to your gracious care and keeping all the men and women of our armed forces at home and abroad. Defend them day by day with your heavenly grace. Strengthen them in their trials and temptations. Give them courage to face the perils which beset them, and grant them a sense of your abiding presence wherever they may be, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know this, Bob. Like our American Legion, okay, they have their members there, and if you're a member, unless you're an auxiliary member, the regular members are actually, service people. But what the purpose of the American Legion is, they're a philanthropic organization. They give away thousands and thousands of dollars throughout the year. That's what their main purpose is.
Yeah. Well, and a place obviously for fellowship as well. And then this is not there. What are there? There's like, there's like 5. You sent me the picture of the whole thing. They've not only got these great pavers with people's name on them, they've not only got this great lighting leading up to these flag bases, which are gorgeous granite blocks, including one which has the names of veterans who were killed. Oh, it is just gorgeous at the Bloomsburg Legion. Wow. I'm so thankful you sent that to me.
Yeah, well, thank you, Bob. I'm glad I could get it to you. Hey, so the topic I called about, I fully agree with you that in a liberal, tolerant society, we ought to be able to accept and have a place for those who have lifestyles that are different than what is normal, but are not harmful to anyone. They're just like you said. They're the individual, and that's their choice. I agree that I want to live in a society like that. The problem with this whole LGBTQ thing is that it is a violent, intolerant group of people.
Yes, they are. They're intolerant and they are violent. Yep.
Yep, and they're wrapped up in narcissism. And when you target children the way they do, way they're doing in schools and whatnot, here's what you're doing. You're going after children who are vulnerable and who are searching for attention any way they can get it.
Yep.
And the job of an adult is to teach a child how to seek positive, affirming attention. Yeah, but what this is doing, this is predatory, because what they're very much aware of is that if you put this out there to a child that, hey, you come out and say you're this, that, and the other, you're going to get everyone to cater to you, and you're going to get all the attention, and everything is focused on you. Well, that's predatory, because children don't know better.
That's
and
right.
Children who have issues, especially if they've been abused at some point, they're going to glom right onto that because they want attention. They want affirmation, but they don't know what healthy affirmation is. And that's, because they're children. And that's what's so sinister about all this.
I know.
And there are health, there are psychologists and whatnot who have come out and don't agree with this. But what happens is they get silenced. They're out there, but if they open their mouth,
it is a hardcore agenda that abuses anyone who disagrees with it. Joe, we got to go, but thank you, my friend. And I appreciate very much the pictures. I'm going to read the other granite block, What is a Veteran, that's at the Bloomsburg Legion as well when we come back. But thank you, my man. Let's go to break. Let's hear from our sponsors. Let's hear from Bloomberg. Hopefully they stick to business. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Paul McCartney. Murph says this date, 1971, he released his second solo album, Ram, featuring his hit, Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey. I wonder if that's to the American Admiral Halsey. I won't spend any time on that, but if anybody knows, let me know. We're going to finish from this date in 1971. Same date, same year. Carly Simon opened for Cat Stevens and debuted her first hit, Anticipation. Everybody knows it from the Heinz Ketchup song or commercial, which is a great commercial. But yeah, we'll play that. I loved Carly Simon, her voice. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a great song. Hey, what is a vet? By the way, Norm McDonald, my man Andy told me, Andy Hedges, Norm McDonald had that funny joke. You got to get Norm McDonald on Instagram. He's just hilarious. But the Bloomsburg Legion, we salute them today. What is a veteran? And this beautiful monument they have in front of the post. A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who at one point in his or her life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including his or her life. That is honor, and there are way too many people in this country today who no longer understand that fact. Wow. Amazing. Mary Regina said she thought she was listening to the Magnum PI when we were honoring our veteran, Jesse Tom, who went to King Kamehameha High School. Yep. Cinderblock says, Cinderblock here, I never had a problem with anybody's color, gender, religion, preference, or identity before. It wasn't until the last 10 years or so when the Democrats really started ramping things up that I learned I was a racist, sexist, bigoted, homophobic, transphobic, Islamophobic Nazi. Thank goodness our moral superiors are here to tell us just how wrong we are. And just how wrong common sense is. Our listener on the debt, the deficit. And I'm telling you, I'm 100% with you, and you're right. And he says, Bob, the left on this transgender operations and our this is somebody else. Our left on this transgender operations on our innocent children is sick and insane. Let the person wait until adulthood, like Chaz Bono and Bruce Jenner did. Why rush? 3 words: evil, dark money. And I'll add evil, dark intentions. Yep. Anyway. Somebody said, Bob, what if we celebrate Straight Month? This is Norm McDonald says. I'm just being silly, but when will this strange agenda stop? What are we proud about? Sexuality? Be proud of accomplishments. LTS back at you. But, the person with the deficit, here's what they said. I get your point that it's a difficult, if not impossible to do, meaning balance the budget. But I feel like you dismissed it and turned it to trans people are my problem, not the huge debt the country has. No. We can walk and chew gum. I'm with you on it. Our national debt is existential. It's an existential crisis for our economy, for our future as a country. I am with you 100%. All I'm saying is you can only do what you can get the votes for. That's all. I want to come back hard with Doge after the midterms if we could hold the House. Yeah. A lot to do. Just getting started. Well, I'm just getting finished. Sue Henry Show next. Rob O'Donnell Show after that. I'll be listening. I hope you will be too. But for now, God willing, I'll be with you tomorrow morning again at 9. Friday, D-Day commemoration tomorrow. We'll talk politics too, but we're going to really focus on D-Day with our man Rick Bigelow. You guys have a great afternoon. as we gavel to a close today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Adios.